I'd love to, down the road, be able to help fund the programs I work with. That way, when it comes to kids need sticks, kids need this, kids need gear, I'd love to be able to help and do that.
That's cool.
So that's
really cool.
one of the things that...
And that's such a huge thing, and especially like, again, like you were saying earlier with I hate it when you get a new kid and they walk up, oh, coach, I got this brand new stick, and you immediately know that they got it from Dick's.
And it's terrible
and it's
or whatever
awful.
it is.
And it's like, all right, well, you might as well go back to Dick's and buy a stringing kit, and we'll have someone string it up for you because this mesh is awful. I mean, I guess it's not the worst shaft or the head or whatever, but you're definitely going to need someone to string it. Or even...
And you can't spend 30 minutes of your practice
I can't string it for you, no. And then you get I remember I had a freshman come up to me go, Coach, what's wrong with my stick? Well, he had the starter D-pole, and he was waiting for a ride or something like that, and the stick got soaked, and now his pocket's like 8 feet deep, and he's throwing, and like, man, like I can't spend my warm-up time, or I can't spend teaching the new guys if I'm worrying about restringing your pocket. And I can't even restring the pocket without working on the sidewall because it's the sidewall that's the problem. I can only pull it up so much and do this, but the pocket's like, where are they getting this mesh? To be completely honest,
that's huge.
If STX, I mean, I know they have their own line, or even Warrior has their own line, or Brime, whatever, if they could really just work with String King East Coast Eyes of, hey, here's our pre-strung with East Coast stuff that you don't have to worry about it, you pick it up and you can play. I mean, and what even drives me up the wall even more is the girls starter sticks. The girls starter sticks are atrocious. At least you can work with guys sticks. And maybe because I'm new to the girls game, but you cannot work with leathers that are just straight.
Now they've created a couple of sticks now for the girls game, and you'll probably think I'm like a marketer for them, but String King does such a good job.
Yes, with their complete stick.
They do complete sticks, and those are the ones I remember buying one 2.5, 3 years ago, and I fell in love with it. I love that stick, and I just like had to continue to use this kind of stick because I don't want to spend time
redoing it,
screwing with the stick, and now you can't throw with it. With those sticks, you basically have to alter the shooting string just a little bit, and those are the easiest things to fix. So
I mean, I got my stick when I was at Taylor we had a sponsorship with Warrior. Which, when you say sponsorship, it's not like we were getting free gear, but you get. I remember getting the Rabel 1 and the Rabel 2 for $25.
That's great.
Shafts for 10 to 15. I mean, I'm still rocking gear that I bought my freshman year.
There you go. Oh yeah.
But I remember getting my first pack of String King mesh. And that was when String King was fairly new. I had bought some East Coast, but that was wax mesh, and wax mesh deteriorates over time. And at Taylor, I was going through Warrior hard mesh, and I remember you get through about the first half of the season because we were at Taylor and we got mud fields, and so I spent most of my time washing it. And then you get through about the first quarter of the season, and the sidewall rips. You're like, crap. Well, now I got to do the whole thing all over again, re-break in my stick, That was the worst. And then I remember getting String King, and it was already broken in. The pocket that I wanted. I have not, this is going to sound awful, but I have not really adjusted my sidewall in probably 4 years.
Good.
About 4 or 5 years.
Oh, that's actually a good thing.
That is a good thing, but for me, like because I was a stringer, I was the team stringer. But now it's like I'll have to go back and totally redo that, and I'm more worried about my head breaking before worrying about restringing my stick, which is a crazy thing to think about.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kind of loathe the day where I have to go back and restring my stick or fix it or go back and buy a new head because, one, I don't think they make the King 3 anymore.
Right.
So I got to either get that off a sideline swap or something if I want the same stick. For me, a shaft's a shaft, and it's not that big of a difference.
They're going to break at some point.
They're going to break at some point. Get over it. And the head really was what made it, and I love the King 3. I love the Rabel 2. But that mesh, that String King is, again, amazing. And
I try to tell a lot of... Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
I try to tell a lot of my the parents at the youth level, it'll be worth it to buy a complete stick.
Yeah.
One, it's already set up. It's not super expensive anymore.
Yeah.
It's like $100 for complete sticks, and you end up being able to find a kid who's not going to get frustrated in the long run.
And that's a huge thing, and that's why I think it deters so many new kids. Is that they get that. And
it's exactly what Joel White said the other day.
You're paying $40 for a complete stick of Dick's Sporting Goods that's going to be crappy and cause your kid, you know, that might be a waste of $40 for the stick
and
plus the time and the gear, right? So your kid buys let's say the Dick's Sporting Goods starter pack for $60, okay? Or you could pay maybe $120, go get pads from Play It Again Sports, but get a good stick.
That might last you a few years.
And that stick will last you a long time. Those pads will last you a few years, but you can upgrade those pads as you go. But that stick, you know, you have a kid who treats it right, who protects his stick well.
Yep.
It's not going to get blown up by D-poles, or even if you're at the youth level, you know, I don't know what is it, U10 where they start playing with the D-pole?
I think it's U12 now.
U12, okay. Yep. So, I mean, even then, you know, as the kid grows, and if they're playing young, then they're not worrying about, but that $100 stick could last you a while. Or what they could do is get a cheap shaft, and then go for the head and mesh, because that's what really matters, like we were saying, you know.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, you're going to save yourself a ton of time, a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that. Sideline swap, like you mentioned earlier, is a good way to find cheap gear. If you need quick gloves or whatever, that's a great one. Another thing is that you really want to try and get this stuff early and test it out. You get kids who it's the first day of practice, they've never thrown with it, and now they get frustrated because they just don't.
Because
Exactly.
So get it, throw with it a little bit, try to figure it out, and